This video is copyright. Welcome to Wisdom Education Services. In the previous few lectures, we have discussed about the IELTS test. We also know that there are 4 sections in the IELTS test: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So in this video, we're going to concentrate more on the reading section. Let's go ahead and get some more information on that. So the reading test, as you might be knowing, comes after the listening test. So it is the second section of the IELTS test. There are 60 minutes in which you have to complete it. There are around 40 questions that you have to answer, and these 40 questions are divided into 3 sections. In the academic test, there are absolutely 3 sections, while in the general, the first and second section may be split up into a total of maybe 5 subsections. There is no extra time given to you to transfer your answers from the questions to the answer sheet. So you have to complete the answer sheet as well within the 60 minutes. You have to use a pencil as the pen is not allowed. It is very important to keep in mind accuracy and spellings. You need to read the instructions carefully, especially for questions which require you to answer in no more than 3 words or a number. Each question gives you 1 mark. There is no negative marking. Here is a rough idea of how you can measure bands according to your accuracy. So I've listed down the score requirements for academic and general IELTS test. You can see the score needed to attain 9 bands, 8.5 bands, 8 bands, 7.5 bands, 7 bands, 6.5 bands, 6 bands, and 5.5 bands. So in case you want to look at them, I'll give you some time for that. Alright then, let's go to types of questions. Here's a rough view of the different types of questions that you might encounter in the IELTS reading test. You have short answer questions, multiple choice answer questions. There are matching headings to the paragraphs. There can be statements where you have to mention whether they are true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given according to the text. You may also need to classify information, fill gaps like blanks. You could complete notes or a summary. There may be diagram completion or labeling, and table completion, apart from flowchart completion. Now we're going to discuss the types of questions one by one. First, we have the short answer questions, where you have to give a very short answer with a maximum of 3 words or a number. So here is our sample question. William was born in 1920. At the age of 10, he went to South London. And the question is, in which year did William visit South London? It is very clear from the text that William was born in 1920. When he was 10 years old, he went to South London. So your answer would be 1920 plus 10. That would be 1930. So this is an indirect kind of answer. Remember that in short answer questions, you have to copy the words correctly, especially the numbers, and you need to check the spellings, because wrong spellings will not fetch you any marks. Second types of questions are the multiple choice answer questions. Here 1 question is given to you, followed by 4 or 5 choices, out of which you have to choose the best one, which will be your answer. For example, this sample question. Consumption of 1 to 2 standard alcoholic drinks per day may reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease by 30%. The question is, to prevent cardiovascular disease, consumption of alcohol must be A. stopped urgently, B. Taken in a prescribed daily limit. C. Taken as recommended by a doctor. Or D. Consumed as it was consumed before. It is clear from the text that consumption of 1 to 2 standard drinks may reduce the risk. So 1 to 2 standard drinks is the prescribed amount. So the answer would be B. Remember, in multiple choice questions, use the keywords in the question to help you find the right part of the text. Read that part again and consider all the options one by one. Options are not always in the same order as they are in the text, so read the complete relevant part of the text. Moving on ahead, we go to the matching headings type of questions. Here, the title could be, for example, choose the title which best fits each course and write the number 1 to 9 in boxes 6 to 11 in your answer sheet. There are more titles than you need. The first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth and ninth, these are the different headings. And these are the paragraphs A, B, C, D, E, F. For example, for paragraph A, if you think the fifth heading is the best, so in your answer sheet, in box number 6, you are going to write 5, as in the small Roman numerals. So that will be your answer. And remember, there are more titles than you need. Now, this is often a confusing question for most students. There is one advice, however, that since sometimes more than one heading may match a paragraph, in such a case, read the paragraph again and again. One more word of advice to you: read the headings before reading the text. Next is the true-false or yes-no-not given type of questions. These are also another tricky type of questions. Here is a sample question for you. The earliest known shocks date from more than 420 million years ago. Tails provide thrust, making speed and acceleration dependent on tail shape. Now read the following statements and mention true if the statement is true according to the passage, false if the statement is false according to the passage, and not given if no information is given in the passage in front of the statements. So our first statement is, the oldest sharks were found exactly 420 million years ago. Now the text clearly mentions that the earliest known sharks date from more than 420 million years ago. So clearly the first statement is false. The second statement says speed and acceleration of the sharks depends on the shape of their tails. So it is clearly given that tails provide thrust, making speed and acceleration dependent on the shape of the tail. So this statement is true. Third, teeth are replaced one at a time in the tiger shark. In the text provided, there is no information given about the tiger shark or the rate of replacement of shark teeth. So clearly the third statement is a not given statement. So your answer box number 3, you have to write not given. Next is classification types of questions. For example, University of Oxford physicist Nicholas Curti was an enthusiastic advocate of applying scientific knowledge to culinary problems. Herve remained the sole director of these subsequent workshops from 1999 through 2004. Now choose the following options: A for Nicholas Curti, B for Herve, C for Harold McGee. Your question is, he was a physicist at Oxford University. It's clearly mentioned University of Oxford physicist, Nicholas Curti. So your answer to question 1 will be A. Second statement, Director of the International Workshop on Molecular Gastronomy, workshops in 2004. It is clearly mentioned. Herb remained the sole director of the subsequent workshops from 1999 through 2004. So the answer for the second question will be B, which stands for Herb. In classification types of questions, it is important to underline names, dates, and numbers in the text so that you can locate them later easily. Next type of question is gap fills or complete the notes or the summary. For example, the dash 1, a food science that deals with investigation and explanation of chemical transformation of dash 2 present in food is called molecular gastronomy. Nicholas Curti and Herb were responsible behind the dash 3, molecular gastronomy. So you have to fill the gaps. You may be given the options or you may not be given the options. Now don't expect words or phrases in the question or the answer choices to be exactly same as in the text. There may be words in the same form or with different meanings, so you need to read the text, the questions, and the summary very carefully. One of the last types of questions is the diagram completion or the labeling. For example, Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument located in the English county of Wiltshire, about 2 miles west of Amesbury and 8 miles north of Salisbury. So in option 4, we can easily insert Stonehenge, as it is located 2 miles west of Amesbury. So at number 5, your answer will be Amesbury. Also, Stonehenge, which is at number 4, is located 8 miles north of Salisbury. So at number 6, we have Salisbury. These are roughly the different types of questions that you might encounter in the IELTS reading test. For more information, you can visit our website and you can also watch for more videos. Thank you.